It has been indicated by researchers that the most important critical decisions for an employer to decide who is going to be employed for this job or not are being taken within the first 5 minutes. You must immediately convey confidence, be attire, handshake, good handshake is very important, eye contact, and body language are very, very important. Body language is essential, I must say. How you sit, how you look, how you move your hands, where you look. After the interview, it's the waiting time. You have been interviewed and you're just waiting whether the owner is going to call you back for maybe for a second interview or to get the job, that you have got the job. So you have to relax, but learn from mistakes. If you don't get your job, learn from mistakes to apply to the next interview experience. Don't let yourself get down if you don't get your first job at the beginning. Send a thank you note. Email is acceptable. Written note stands out. Professional or personality depends on the job. Stay in person, follow up the recruiter, and be patient, but don't wait too long. I mean, this is what does it mean, don't wait too long. Don't call him every day, did I get the job, did I get the job, did I get the job? But don't wait, let's say, a month to get to phone him and see if you had got a job at last. Here are some typical interview questions. Tell me about yourself, a general question. Why are you interested in this position or organization? What attracted you to this field? Tell me about your work experience. What qualifies you for this position? What are your strengths? I have omitted an R. Where do you see yourself in 5 or 10 years? Typically different questions that you have to be prepared, as I've already told you, before you get in front of the interviewer and you have to answer them. Tell me about your resume screen. It means that your interviewer is trying to get a whole picture of you, a general picture of you. Why haven't you is a high stress question because it means that the interviewer has found something that you haven't done, that he will wish you have done it in order to get this job. What have you done as behavioral interviewing? What would you do is that he's giving you an example of something that maybe is usually happening or taking place in this job, and he would like to see what would you do in such a case. And if you hear some of what the things that we can't say here, then it's not a good question during an interview. Maybe the interviewer has already decided that you're not for this job. So the most common type of interview today is behavioral interviewing. Past behavior is an indicator of future behavior. It means that what you have done in the past is a sign of what you're going to do in the future. How can you identify if you've been asked a behavioral question? Look, it asks you for a specific example of something that's already happened to you. It often starts with tell me about a time when, or give me an example of something you did. How do you answer any type of behavioral-based interview question, which is quite vague, okay? Stories from the basis of how we think, organize, and remember information. A good story with specific yet diverse examples of your skill and competence will prepare you to answer any form of the most common job interview questions. Tell me about yourself to any behavior-based question. A good story leaves a lasting impression. And a good story is the best way to market your skills and competencies to a potential employer. So develop your own story before you go and get interviewed. Let's see, in this slide, you could see on the right, on the left side, we have a job interview. Or, no, I'm sorry, a job. I'm sorry if I didn't. Okay. Okay. Here's how it looks. An announcement, say, for someone looking for a job. Experience. we're going to, we'll just have read in red letters what you should, when you read someone, announcement, okay, you just mark in red what things is more important. Let's say instruction, competency, what it looks for. It looks for instruction, for reference services, experience in reference services, experience with collection development. You're just marking and dotting what you think is important, and you're just trying to find, do I have something from this one? Do I'm skilled on instruction or library instruction, or do I have reference services? When you read such an announcement, okay, you have to try and find what you think is very important. Okay, this is a brainstorm. I think I'm going to do what you are looking for something to market yourself to employers. You have, these are some good points that are going to make you look better in front of an interviewer. Your internships, your previous work experience, maybe you have volunteered for something, PEP courses, research projects, study abroad, personal project, or whatever else anyone thinks that would be better for him. Okay, we will end it here because I think okay, and then when you've answered to these questions that we sent before, take the results that you did from your brainstorming activity and then try to make how you use these competencies and connect them to how they will be a benefit to a potential employer. I mean, start creating your own story. So this is the story. You start with the competencies. You try to see the situation, the task that you have to do. Take action, what you're going to do if someone asks you, the result, and how it's going to benefit the organization. This is starting from the left side to the right side. This is how it's going to work in order if you want to dissect your own story. And finally, core components that employers want to see evidence of. What maybe most employers are looking, are searching when they're interviewing someone. Decision-making and problem-solving, leadership, motivation, communication, planning and organization, critical thinking of the one who's being interviewed, team building, ability to influence others, and interpersonal skills. These are factors that someone is looking for to find in someone searched for a job. Okay, that's all. And we have less than a minute. All right.